Hey Sleuths, it's Casey with Sisters Undercover, and today I'm going to bring you a very easy SIBO broth recipe. And before we get into the actual recipe itself, I want to talk about traditional bone broth, because traditional bone broth is, hailed as liquid gold. I've said that. It has all these minerals and vitamins and amino acids, and that's all wonderful. But for us SIBO sufferers, it actually can do us harm. And the reason that is because when we cook the traditional bone broth, there's the cartilage in the bones that releases this thing, and I'm actually going to abbreviate this here because this word is like 26 letters long, but it's called gags. And those of us that suffer from SIBO have a really hard time with gags. I'm actually going to put a link in the description to an article that talks all about that. And also in the traditional bone broths, it also can feed bacteria, and we don't need that bacteria at all. We have too much of it, right? So I wanted to walk you through this very easy peasy SIBO broth recipe. There is really another alternative you can use to circumvent the whole cartilage issue, which is to get bones that are just marrow bones and cook broth that way. Most people, they're totally fine with that, and it's safe for everybody. But us SIBO sufferers, we're sensitive, and so the recipe I'm going to show you today is like, nobody should have a problem with it. And how I'm cooking it is with just boneless, skinless chicken breasts and boneless, skinless thighs. And I've got about 2 pounds of that. And I have water and I have herbs. That's it, folks. Super easy, super simple, which I need in my life right now. So you start off with 2 quarts of water. And if you're anything like me, I need the equivalent to what that is, and that's 8 cups. And then I'm going to put in the thighs and the breasts. I had to debone those suckers. That wasn't fun. Here go the breasts. And it really doesn't matter whatever combination you want to use for the thighs and breasts. That's fine. No big exact science. And then I've got some beautiful herbs. I have sage, and I'm going to just plop that in. Rosemary. That's a good one. And then I've got some marjoram and thyme. And lastly here, I've got some oregano. And that's it. And I'm going to put it on the stove, and I'm going to put it on a low simmer for an hour and a half. And then I'm going to come back with you to take you through the rest. Welcome back. I've had my lovely SIBO broth simmering on low on the stove for an hour and a half, and my house smells phenomenal, guys. It's so wonderful. So at this point, I actually used antibiotic-free and organic chicken, so I don't need to scrape off the fat. But if you didn't use organic and antibiotic-free chicken, you'll want to wait till it cools and skim off the fat at that point. Also, regarding the herbs, you saw me just throw in a bunch of herbs earlier. It doesn't matter. There's no specific quantity. There's no specific perfect kind. Just use whatever you have around the house. Make it easy on yourself. Our life is hard enough, right? So at this point, after I'm gonna let it cool a little bit, I'm gonna strain it and then store it in some mason jars. It'll be good in the fridge for about 5 days or so. So if you don't use it within 5 days, just freeze it after that, because you do not want this loveliness to go to waste. What you'll see, I'm going to put in the description of this video, is a link to Dr. Melanie Keller's website, SIBO Solution. That's where I got this recipe. So that's just a really great resource for us SIBO sufferers. She's a wonderful doctor. She's actually my doctor, and she does more than SIBO. So if you're an interesting little unicorn like I am, she is a great resource. So I'd love to hear if you make this broth down in the comments, or if you have any questions, just let me know. Hopefully you can follow us on Sisters Undercover, and I'll see you next time.